Hello and welcome. My name is Stefan Poschik from CHC, and you are listening to the newest episode of the CHC Expert Interview. Today, I have a really interesting guest because you see it already on the screen. He has to do something with one of the biggest companies on planet Earth. So hello and welcome, Chris. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it. I'm Chris Fryburger with Reach. My company really wires up resources in the Amazon space. I started my company about 3.5 years ago, helping brands conquer Amazon. It's really a very difficult space, an e-commerce space, and there's specialty agencies and SaaS solutions and things along in this world of Amazon. And that's where I live, as a sort of a network of marrying people up that need something on Amazon to the folks that actually do this stuff.
That's really awesome. And I'm curious to hear about more about this in a second, but I also know that you are doing a lot of other things. For example, you are helping and supporting projects in Africa. You are heavily involved in buying and selling companies and helping other entrepreneurs find basically the right buyer, prepare them with your network. So with all this experience you have and all this knowledge you bring with you, I'm really curious about what are you most proud of so far in your business or in your life?
Well, first of all, what a great question. I think I'm at a point in my career right now where I'm actually realizing sort of the culmination of everything I've done to date. I'll be honest with you, my career has been, I've been hired, I've been fired, I've been an owner, I've been a boss, I've been had to fire and so on along those lines, but also just a variety of different companies. I mean, if there's one theme in the whole thing, it would be really the internet. I know that's not much of a theme, but really technology, the digital world and marketing really has been a theme. And so right now, starting a company, I think is a culmination of everything all the confidences that provides. I think that's new to me as well. But really, even within the company itself, some of the things that are now the initiatives I'm doing are coming to fruition. And I was just actually thinking this morning, it's like, at some point you come into your career where people start listening to you, and you become the expert. I think it comes with gray hair maybe, but I'm in that position now. And so to answer your question, I'm actually proud of now of people come to me saying, what should I do on Amazon or the like, and I actually kind of know what I'm talking about. And so I guess that's what I'm proud of the most.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. Yeah. And it also shows that you have a track record other people see and other people want to tap into and basically get your help and get your knowledge in this area. So how is the process? How can, for example, a service-based business or just products tap into this massive universe of Amazon? What are the first steps? Yeah.
Oh, well, that's the first step would be to decide that you
reach out
Amazon,
to you, right?
Yeah, well, of course. Though I even, now I'm getting later and later in the process, and we can talk about that a little bit as well. Some of the M&A and the things I'm focused on now. But to get started on Amazon, I think it really takes it would take from on high an initiative to say we are going to tackle Amazon, and I think that becomes with an understanding of what Amazon is and it's going to be. We all know what it is in our lives now, but think about what Amazon's going to be in 50 years. I mean, they're going to be drop shipping out of outer space. And so you can get it within minutes, probably in your car, traveling down the street, with a drone, that kind of stuff is going to happen. And so as a brand or as any company, really, I think that needs to react in the e-com space and should be reacting to Amazon. To get started, it requires just an understanding of what you're up against, what the promise is, but also really what the difficulty is. And the initiative, really, you're carving out 30% of probably your marketing budget, your ad spend, all of that really should be going to Amazon. And if you're not doing that now, that's a massive change that requires a checkoff and a holistic checkoff from above all the way up to the top of the line. It just needs to be something that you decide to tackle, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So can you give me an example? I mean, I'm a service-based business, so all my companies are just service-based. So we have online courses, we are selling coaching, consulting, training, consulting services into companies. So would it make sense to use it in some way to also tap into this Amazon universe?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things one of the tricks is you put Amazon in front of it. Okay. One way to look at it is really, I use this all the time, but it's like 2003 Google days, but it's Amazon. So all the solutions in this Amazon space, okay, with Amazon in front, there's an equivalent in that bubble that there is in the outside world. So for instance, if you're a lawyer, okay, and you specialize in online law or brand protection online, come to this space because there's only two of you, okay? Whereas there was, you're competing with the guy down the street, okay? If you're an accountant, okay? If you're an HR person, if you're a programmer, put Amazon in front of it. There's Amazon APIs that are desperate. You will double your salary in shorter time. I know this is back in 2003 when I was bumping up. If you knew how to make websites, I'm going to date myself. Back in 1996, you were worth a lot of money. And I think that's the situation we're right now. I said, if you're a programmer that knows how to do the API on Amazon, you are worth a lot of money. But it goes beyond that to service skills, again, like legal and all those type of things, but business skills as well. A lot of the businesses are young businesses by entrepreneurs. They don't know how to run their business. It's their first time. So for you, Stefan, a lot of the services, a lot of the software solutions and the internal solutions that you provide, documentation processing, design of best practices, training programs. These are all things that from the outside have to be absorbed in. And so if you do those things, just put Amazon in front of it and come join us, come in, because it's happy hunting ground here. It's blue sky. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. I will definitely consider this, and we'll talk to you about this much more in the future. You can imagine.
Sure.
Awesome. Sure. Yeah. So with all these things going on in this Amazon world, and also with your other business ventures you are after, what are you most excited about at the moment?
Internally, what I'm most focused on now, really in the last year, and it's really a bit of transformation of Enreach, which is really is me and some assistants, okay? And it's my network and my knowing the players and the owners in the space. Well, I also found, as I mentioned, that people were coming back to me saying, well, what about this? And what should I be doing about this? And those were the owners of these companies. So I specialize in agencies due to my background, ad agencies. You can think of it just a traditional ad agency, Mad Men kind of thing. That equivalent exists in here. So there's Amazon, paid, earned, and organic media, right? And there's very owners of companies that are young agencies that do this kind of stuff, right? Well, those owners are coming to me and asking me about what do I do about my business internally? How do I grow an agency, right? Which was new to me, saying they need help, or I want to exit my business in 12, 18 months. What should I prepare for, right? Who's going to guide me through that process? So I vetted a lot of resources around for those owners to help them. And so in the last year, the culmination of that is really now I'm more 90% focused on the M&A of Amazon enabled businesses. I'd say that because there's agencies, but there's also SaaS solutions that I've been helping match up to acquirers and the prep thereof, right? Because everybody's looking at these young darlings saying, I need to learn Amazon. Well, sometimes the easiest way to do that is just to buy your way into the space, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I've been focused on. That's what I'm most proud of, and that's what's coming to fruition. I matched seven companies last year, and hope to at least double that this year. So
that's awesome. That's awesome, and you should be proud of this, and you should be excited about this.
Thank you.
With this massive opportunities in the future, where you mentioned, okay, I mean, 50 years from now, they will be drop shipping from the space and crazy things like that. Where do you want to go with your companies, or where do you want to go as an entrepreneur? So basically, what is your personal vision here?
Yeah, I really want to focus on taking my expertise and helping sort of the younger or this new burgeoning space, if that makes sense. Yeah. I see going forward really just being more in the background, helping people meet the people that they need. I'm not an expert at anything. People call me a matchmaker. Okay? And so I know enough to go down a road. I know that, hey, you need an Amazon accountant, for instance, and this is the person you need to speak with, that kind of stuff. Or you need, this is a PPC company you should work with for your brand, or that type of thing. And so I see myself more of being sort of in the background, wiring up those types of things and helping the owners, and that being my quote unquote retirement. But I think that's where it's going. I don't see it, if I was younger, I'd say that I'd probably spin off like 3 SaaS solutions and go for it, because everything in the space is gold. And I encourage anyone, if anybody listening, if you have a business, or if you're a person that's looking for a new job or anything along those lines, learn Amazon. It is absolutely, it's the Google, not Facebook. It's not Instagram. Those are flashes of the pan, right?
Yeah.
Compared to Google, right? And
yeah.
Amazon is the #1 search engine for shopping. Okay. And that right there should say it's going to be around for, well, at least another 20 years, right? And so
100%.
if you're in the space, if you're digital anything, just learn Amazon. There's a barrier there for some reason. I have a lot of friends that are the most brilliant PPC media people on the planet. They've done this stuff forever. And for some reason, they won't learn Amazon. And then once in a while, I get a call from them once in a while, and they say, I was bored and I looked up and I did some Google. I need to be in this space. I need to do this stuff. That's what I do. And I'm like, yes, I've been telling you that.
Yeah. Right? I've been telling you this since years. Come on.
Exactly. So I'll stop there. But I mean, that's, I don't know if that answers the question, but I think that's what I see going forward. But if you're young or if you're a software company or you want to start a business, right now, right here, right in Amazon, I encourage you. Even if you just want to sell products, I mean, selling on Amazon's tough, but it's still very lucrative if you have the right product. So.
Yeah. And the right people like you. So just reach out to Chris and he will help you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
For sure. Good. That's awesome. I really like this because the opportunities are growing and growing and growing. And there are so many opportunities out there. People just need to tap into them or be open-minded to tap into them, in my opinion.
Yes, absolutely.
So we already talked a little bit about what we are doing, and that all the things what we do is somehow related to health. So business health, financial health, personal health, and things like that. So is health something what is important in your business life or in your private life?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would say, one of the things that transformed for me, and that's with like a lot of workers out there right now or in the world, it's transformative, and it's always the way it should have been. I think this is the promise of the internet, but I think the remote workforce that's happened, the exodus, from that environment has been healthy, but it's also had challenges for me personally. My wife works just above me. We've been in that situation now 4 years, and you have to once in a while step out of yourself and say, "Am I okay?" I sit in my chair all day, so health wise, I need to make sure I get up and go out and do exercise and actually meet people in other than online and things along those lines. And so I am conscious. I have to be more conscious of my health. My business wise, business health is great. I like it personally because it's only me, and my personality, it fits really well. And I'm only responsible for myself and those around me and that kind of thing. So that's been a change for me as well, and I've had to deal with that from a business health standpoint to make sure that, hey, there is only me, and I've got to be made sure I'm focused on everything, because otherwise everything else is a distraction for everything. So,
yeah. Understood. So basically, I would say you are playing really small at the moment, Chris, because your network is so valuable and such a tremendous network behind you. And it's not just you, because I know what is behind you. So don't make it small. Don't make it small.
Well, I mean, kind of to the health thing, and I know it's kind of unrelated, but it all has to fire. Everything has to fire, as well as I only work with the best, but I also only work with good people, if that makes sense. People that have business minds and business sense, and that they do and say what they're going to do, and that there's nothing nefarious. They will sign your contract and honor it, and that kind of thing, and that kind of thing. And I've gone through one of the things that part of the building process for my business was learning that there are sharks out there. Yeah. There are people that don't have the best things, and if you walk into a situation where that's not, you're unprepared, there can be consequences. And so health-wise, I think part of my network, to your point, of the people behind me are also good people, and that's kind of what I vet for as well. So.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. No, that's really, really great. And so you already mentioned this word healthy business. So in the business world and in this tough economy we are at the moment, what do you think is needed to have a healthy business as an entrepreneur at the moment?
That's a good question. I can only speak for my world, I guess, and this name behind me. Again, I don't want to be, it sounds like I'm not sensitive to the other difficulties that are going on. I imagine there are many businesses that are struggling right now and employees as well. But Amazon's reacting differently. The Amazon bubble is reacting differently to the economy. There was a stuck moment there with the logistics and no one can actually sell product. But once that released, this space is on fire again. And the salaries are still good. I mean, the companies are doubling, the salaries are doubling, especially anything with respect to logistics or FBA or any sort of movement of product around the world has been released, and it's just, all the investment community is coming back into the space. There's a lot of actually dollars that aren't Amazon dollars, or people that are looking for investments that have been sitting on capital for a year now, or 3 years, that are looking to invest. So they're pouring money into Amazon. So it really is just becoming a powder keg, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Irrespective, it has its own economy, I guess, if that's the best way to say it. Amazon just laid off 7,000 workers, but that was because they overexpanded, not because they're unhealthy. They're just kind of adjusting their belt a little bit. And so it's hard to answer your question. It's hard because it's sort of its own weather, it makes its own weather in this little bubble, if that makes sense. So, but that said, hopefully the economy is coming back, and it'll be even more explosive.
And I mean, the economy is there. It just changes because there is more money around on planet Earth than ever before. I mean, I think 40% of all the money around was printed in the last 2 or 3 years. So the money
doesn't sound good.
The money is there. And it's you need to just tap into the space from a different angle, or you need to adapt what we see also in our coachings and in our mentorings. Yeah. So this basically brings me to my last question. So coaching and mentoring, would you recommend this for Amazon-based businesses, or when somebody wants to start? And if so, why?
So coaching is something I did not have. I would highly recommend identifying a mentor and going through business coaching. I really wish I'd read more business books. I wish I'd gone through more courses. I wish I had a mentor. Honestly, I would have. I don't say I would have, because you can't play that game, right? Everything is for a reason. But that said, it would have helped me earlier in my career to have the confidence to start a business, to be honest with you, and or run a business. I'd started some things that had failed, and those things may have done better had I been more prepared. I'm an aerospace engineer by trade, and then found myself jobless and found the internet in 1995 and reinvented myself. But that said, no one knew what was going on with the internet, much less. But I was also a green kid, and I had never been in the business world. I'd never known how to conduct myself. I'd never known that there are sharks, things along those lines. And I think coaching and business coaching, all of that, I would have absolutely accelerated my career.
100% agreed. Thank you for being so transparent and also sharing your story, what was working and what challenges you had, and you needed to reinvent yourself. And that's also something what I see. A lot of people should reinvent themselves, and they would be super relevant again in the marketplace. But when they don't do it, okay, it could be tough in some situations if they don't want to transform themselves, if they don't want to do something different, and when they are not open for opportunities like the Amazon world and the universe where you are super focused on. So Chris, I could go on and on and on. I could ask you a bunch of more questions, but I really value your time. So what is the best way to connect with you if somebody wants to reach out to you? Because I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who want to connect with you.
Sure, absolutely. I would encourage anybody to reach out. I'm an open person. I talk about Amazon every day, and I'm happy to wire up whatever you may need, anything really. That said, I'm Chris, CHRIS at NReach. It's NReach without an I, so it's NReach, REACH.com. And I'm in reach.com. And again, just please, I love networking in the space. And if you're thinking about coming into it, or you have challenges or problems within it, or thinking about starting a business within it, I can certainly help.
That's perfect. So definitely we are going to post your website, and all the people can directly go to your website and can reach out to you and can connect with you. So thank you again, Chris. Thank you for the insights and for all the informations and all the answers you just gave me in the last couple of minutes. I really appreciate our time and our interview. So, and all for you listeners out there, just take the advice, use it to your personal advantage, connect with Chris, and go out and do something great and take care of yourself. Thank you so much and have a great and successful time. Bye for now.
Thank you.